I want to say it, but I know it's a bad word. I know it's a bad word. But what's up, everybody? And welcome to another episode of The Cringe. It's a doo-doo spaghetti. And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite horror campaign role-playing game books. It's by Savage Worlds. So it uses the Savage Worlds core rulebook system, and it is called The Realms of Cthulhu. The Realms of Cthulhu. I am updating my PDF reader, and as soon as it updates, we'll get to gaming. We'll get to book reviewing. My book reviewing. What do you guys think of my new concept for doing like book reviews and stuff? Barking about books. Isn't that pretty cool or what? Is that pretty cool or what? Hey, meow meow. Thank you for popping in. I see you're here. I hope that you don't get in troubles at works. Okay? I hope you don't get troubles at works. What do you guys think of my new background? Because it is October. You know, it is the Hallows Eves month, you know, of the paranormal and the occults. So got a pretty cool you know, pumpkin here. You know, let me know if the background sound is, you know, kind of like too loud. I'm trying to dial in the right sound level for, you know, the background soundtrack for my pumpkin patch chat room. Okay, guys. Alright, guys, I think everything's ready. Let me just make sure that the my stream is not, you know, crashing and stuff. So far it looks pretty good, right? It looks pretty good. Okay, guys. All right, let's get into the game room. All right, guys, here we go. Let me just put this here. All right, guys, so this is called The Realms of Cthulhu. The Realms of Cthulhu. It's a campaign horror setting for the Savage Worlds core rulebook. That's the book that I just reviewed. You know, I think in my last barking about book streams and stuff. And so this is the Realms of Cthulhu. This is the cover. This is what it looks like. I don't think it's expensive anymore. I got this when it came out quite a while. Like this came out like I don't know, maybe many years ago. Like, let me see what the copyright of the cover is. It says here 2009 or something. I'm crazy. So it has a forward. This is the main contents. I love the way it's laid out. It has the same graphic design layout of the Savage Worlds core rulebook. So they try to put a lot of information on the first 2 pages, or they try to utilize the design. So, you know, you don't have to do a lot of page flipping. Like, you don't have to do page flipping. Hold on, I'm getting a tech issue alert. Let me just make sure that the stream is not gonna crash. Give me one moment, guys. Right, I hope everyone's enjoying your morning. Hope everyone's doing good. It looks like everything's okay. Right, toe beans crossed. I'm hoping that our stream doesn't crash. You know, here we go. I hope. All right, let's continue. Right, so you have your introductions. There's a section for equipment. There's the setting rules, the keeper section. Oh, so in Dungeons and Dragons, the game master is called the Dungeon Master. In Savage Worlds, the creator of there's the Game Master, the GM, and basically they use the term GM for all role-playing games. But in the Realms of Cthulhu, you're called the Keeper. So it's kind of cool. It's different. It adds different flavor, you know, for the immersion, the horror immersion. And then it gives a section of Cthulhu mythos, crafting campaigns. There's the Matters of Magic chapter. There's a Mythos Tales. So there's like some short stories in there. A short adventure, The Mysteries of Drake Manor. It gives you like your NPCs, you know, the players, the movers and the shakers, the cultists and the monsters in the game. And then it finally comes at the end, a pretty cool looking character sheet. I can't wait for you to show the character sheet, to show you guys the character sheet. Right, so what is the Realms of Cthulhu? Some of you who are not familiar with like role-playing games and you're interested in playing horror games, you must have heard of the term like, you know, Cthulhu, Call of Cthulhu, you know, an elder being from the outer realms, or from a place where you can't even describe it. It's like unimagined. It's you can't imagine it. It drives you insane. You know, it's like there's a movie I think that might give you the tone of it. I think it's called In the Mouth of Madness, and it has the actor from Jurassic Park in it. And I was just watching it like, you know, 2 nights ago because hello, it's, you know, October. I got to watch the horror shows, horror movies. You know, I think the next one I was gonna watch is what's that one with the Cenobites, guys? It has the Cenobites. I think it's called, you know, like, what is your pleasure, sir? Like, I wonder what that... Dude, I can't think of it. Hellraiser. You know, I was gonna watch the first Hellraiser, the first Freddy Krueger, and the first what I forgot. I can't think of it right now. I'm just waking up, guys. Just waking up. But the type of Cthulhu games, like Cthulhu horror games, typically are within the period of the 1800s through the 1920s. So it's very Lovecraftian. You know, it's based off the author, the author, who basically like fathered and birthed the Cthulhu genre of horror contents and stuffs. H.P. Lovecraft. And so that's what it gives you, like, you know, a background of what the basis of this type of game is, the Realms of Cthulhu. That's supposed to be Cthulhu on the cover. Now, it may look like, you know, human size, but you're like the size of his pinky or something like that. So don't be, you know, don't be fooled. You know, he's not like 1-to-1 ratio, you know, if, you know, the cover is misleading. So I wish there was like something where like a bottom, like a little house, like where his like knuckle is or his fingernail is. That's basically like he's so huge that you can't even grasp the concept of something this massive. But that's the Realms of Cthulhu. It says here, you hold in your hands a horror game unlike most, for this game does not deal strictly with ghosts and other such monstrosities, but the nightmarish landscapes of the master of modern horror, H.P. Lovecraft, and for those who have shared his vision and shaped his mythos. His worlds pitted the hapless heroes against creatures that threatened to destroy a man's fragile psyche merely by learning of their existence. His monsters filled the night sky and were from beyond the stars, ageless, timeless, and inevitable. His heroes were often driven mad or died some horrible death. Perhaps you will fare better. And so that's the intro, right? Realms of Cthulhu. I love playing this game. It's just awesome. There's another role-playing game called The Call of Cthulhu, and it's I think it's published by a company called Chaosium. That role-playing game is based on the percentile dice system. For those of you who don't know or are new to the various types of other role-playing games outside of Dungeons and Dragons, the percentile system is basically you're rolling 2 10-sided dice to create like a percentile roll. Or you know what? Nowadays they just have one dice that's this huge jumbo dice that has 100 sides on it, and you just roll that, and that's your percentile roll. So it's kind of crazy, like how like things used to be like, you know, smaller, multiple pieces of dice. Now they just make one ginormous one, you know, because of 3D printing. But anyways, you roll on you roll percentile, and you try to roll under your percent, under the percentage that you have. For example, you have, like, you know, in Dungeons & Dragons, you have your strength, dexterity, intelligence, like that. So imagine your strength is like 60%. So you have your, instead of a number value, you have a percent value. So you'll have, let's say, strength. If your strength is 60%, that means 60% of the time you'll be able to accomplish your feats of strength. It's like that. So, and you have to roll under that percentage using like 2d10s or one jumbo 100-sided dice. That's the rel. So what you have here, you have your investigator types to give you examples of the types of investigators you could play. So for example here, it's only on 2 pages, guys. See, look how easy it is to absorb. You know, it may look overwhelming, but the design is quite, let's see, it has a very simplistic design. It's very to the point, and the writing, it's written in such a way to create, you know, inspiration and stuff like that. So you have basically just, these are the samples of the characters that are in the world of the realms of Cthulhu. Or there's characters that, you know, are, I would say, the most popular type of archetypes that you'll see doing like paranormal investigations between the 1800s and the 1920s. So there's the antiquarian. You'll have a sample here. There's antiquarian. They're a dealer in antiquities. There's the artist. You know, you're looking at Dorian Gray. I'm looking at you, Dorian Gray. There's the athlete. There's the author. You could play a clergyman. You know, like a holy priest. Of course, there's the criminal. You can play criminal. There's a dilettante. That's let's see. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Dilettante. It's someone, you're like a wealthy person of the upper crust. You know, so just as a note, there, if you're role playing during the 1800s and the 1920s, class in society was very, I think, was the norm. So you have your rich, I believe, and your poor. I don't know if there was such things as a middle class. You guys let me know, because I'm not too, you know, I'm not too deep in the knowledge of like class and social structure, you know, during the 1800s and 1920s. All I know is that, you know, when you watch movies like, you know, Dracula, you know, and like horror movies like based in like the 19, like, you know, what's that movie where there's the headless horseman? You know, there was a movie with, I think, I forgot, with the guy who plays John Wick. Like there was a movie called, or was it Johnny Depp? There's one where the Headless Horseman, it was a movie like done in the 80s or something like that. And then there's trying to think like Bram Stoker's Dracula with Keanu Reeves. So that's like the 1800s, and there's either rich or you're poor, or I think you're in the working class, right? So you just, you know, you're in the working class. You know, like for example, like chimney sweeper, coal miner, boat builder. You know, because remember, this is like, you know, this is during the time of of wooden ships and iron men. Right, so there's dilettante, which is a wealthy, high-class person. You know, of course, well-educated. There's the doctor of medicine. Let me see, doctor of medicine. There's the drifter, a person who just lives life on the road. There's the engineer. You know, someone that probably during that time is delving in the knowledge of the steam engine and stuff like that, and electricity. Now remember, there's no cell phones during this time, and it's very rarely like only the wealthy had access to have like electrical power and things like that. It's kind of crazy. Everyone uses like gas lamp, like gaslight, candles, coal. They boil a lot of food. Look, can you imagine living during a time where you just boiled everything that you had to eat? Right? There was like basically no refrigerators. Like you had basically like let's just say it looks like a giant drawer where you put one huge block of ice in it, you know, and then the block of ice is large enough that by it would take, I think, 24 hours or at least one day to completely melt. So you have one day to, buy another huge, ginormous block of ice. Crazy, isn't it, guys? That's pretty crazy. Anyways, there's engineer. You could be an entertainer, a farmer, a journalist, reporting the news of the occult. There's a lawyer, right? Well, Mr. Johnson was, that's all hearsay. Him being what with, called a cultist. My associate is not a cultist. You could have a lawyer. You could have like law actions, law role-playing games. You can't handle the truth. That there's military officer. You could play a missionary. A servant of faith. You go around and try to spread the word, trying to spread the holy word, as a missionary. You could be a parapsychologist. There's a pilot. A lot of people flew back then. We're looking at Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones would be something. He would be kind of like an adventurer. He's an adventurer / he's also he is, let me see, what would he be? He's athletic. He wrote books. He would be an author. He would be a professor. Oh, there it is. There's a class called professor. So you could be a professor, soldier, policeman, private investigator, pilot. Let me see. Got this, journalist. Right, and it's the same setup for the Savage Worlds core rulebook, the deluxe edition, that is. So it only basically has these 2 pages to describe how to create an investigator. In this one, everybody's a human. So this one, because the setting is based in between 1800s and 1920s. So all it says here, step 1, the foundation. So all investigators are human and begin with 1 free edge. And then remember, in the game, in the core rulebook, just to touch base on it, you get something called, it would be considered a buff and debuffs, which would mean edges and hindrances. So what you do is you get, if you want to get a cool edge, which is something that'll buff your character, you have to balance it out by getting a hindrance, right? So if you want to be able to fight like Daredevil, you have uncanny martial arts, and you want to have the ability to sense things, then your big hindrance would be, in Daredevil's case, he's blind. So he would have a blind hindrance, but he would have I think sonar sense. He would have sonar hearing. How's that? He would have sonar hearing as an edge, and his hindrance would be he's blind. I'm trying to think hindrance and an examples of hindrance and edges. So Superman, you made a Superman character, right? So your edge is you have superhuman strength. You could fly. You could shoot lasers out of your eyeballs, your eye holes, right? But the big hindrance is you're weakened by kryptonite. You're weakened by magic. So that's what his hindrances and edges would be. I'm trying to think what else would be a hindrance and edge. If you guys need other examples, if you know any examples, please type it in chat. If you already know, I would like to share it with the puppers. Hold on, let me just double check and make sure that I'm just double checking my stream. It's not, crashing and stuff. Right, looks pretty good. Okay, looks pretty good. All right, let's continue. Right, so you get your traits, and traits are in Dungeons and Dragons, your dexterity, strength, endurance. So in Savage Worlds, it's you get strength, agility, smarts, streetwise. So all those, it's all role-playing games. Just to make it easy for those of you who are interested